that? No, that's Thriller. What's the Beat It Michael Jackson song? What's the tempo for that? Just beat it. Beat it, beat it, beat it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Welcome if you new. What's up? By the title, you guys already know. I'm about to give you guys my top secret tips for oily skin. Like, my skin is so oily, you guys, and my makeup has the ability to last all damn day. I'm not playing with you. Through the years, I've just learned like what works for me and my oily ass skin, like how to keep it together. And I'm gonna just show y'all my tips and tricks if y'all trying to keep y'all makeup looking good, matte, like perfect. All right, you don't want them smile lines, because I used to get them. That oily ass nose, girl, I got you. So let's just keep watching. Let's just jump into this video. Okay guys, so I have my eyes done already, because that is got nothing to do with what we're about to do here today. So my face is bare. You may be shocked because my skin's on flake. Let me know in the comment box if you want a skincare routine. I know my snowflakes do, because y'all always ask me, but let's just reinforce what we want here, because closed mouths don't get fat. Primer. Whoa, all right, y'all. Tip number one, and this is a big one. It's a huge one. So just like you prime the house before you paint, you got to prime the face before you paint, put your makeup on. If you are oily, you're gonna need a mattifying primer. Mattify, drying. So you'll know if a primer is mattifying. First of all, it should say it on this damn shit. It should say it. But if it doesn't say it, you can tell. It'll feel tacky like. It may feel kind of very, very dry on your face. It may have a smooth silicone-like feeling. That's what you want. You want to stay away from hydrating primers, because you don't need no hydration. Your body is good at hydrating. You're oily. You're very hydrated. And don't take that as you don't want to hydrate like with moisturizers, because you do. The thing is, if you don't moisturize, you don't use no kind of hydrating before you do your makeup. So like, I've already put on my Cetaphil moisturizing lotion. If you do not do that before you place your makeup on, your skin will be like, oh my God, we need some moisture. It's dry as hell in here. And you're going to make even more oil. So you don't want to not moisturize because you feel like, oh, I'm oily enough, I don't need to moisturize. You do. Because if your skin is dry, or drier than it, tends to be, it's going to create oil, and you don't want that. So go ahead and moisturize your face, but the primer that you use should not be a moisturizing primer if you're oily. I've been using the Hourglass Mineral Veil Primer as of late. This is the trial bottle. I think it's like $20 or so, but the full size bottle is a good $40 to $50. I'm not sure off the top of my head, but it is about $40 or $50. Like, it's definitely in that range. Of course, there will be links to everything below. You can get this at Sephora. Not sure if you can get it at Ulta, but you can get it at Sephora, and of course probably online at their website or whatever. But I've been using this, and it has been amazing for me. Also, this primer in particular makes everything waterproof, so that was a plus. That's awesome. So I've been using this primer. Tip number 2, you want to focus your primer and also your powder. We'll get to that later, but you want to focus your primer on the oiliest spots on your skin. So for me, I'm like a T-zone girl. So like, actually like an upside down T-zone, because my forehead doesn't really get too oily, but I get kind of oily right here, my nose, wow, and like my chin and around my mouth. So like my T is kind of like this. It's an upside down T. And that's where I focus my primer. I don't even really care to put primers right here and right here. I mean, you can do like the remnants, like you guys will see my finger will go over there after I've already touched the spots I need to touch. But that's just because I don't really get oily on the sides of my face. I really just get oily, if you want to get technical and all up in it, right up in here. Not even my forehead. So again, just the upside down T is what we have. So I'm going to take a little drop of this primer, and I'm going to dab it on my chin. And I'm going to come up to my nose. And I like the fact that I'm using this primer because you can see exactly what I'm touching. And so then I'm going to go and get more, and touch the sides of my mouth. And then as you can see on my finger, it's just a little bit, like a little remnant of it. And that's where I'll do my forehead. So that's pretty much the areas that I touch. So I'll take whatever's left on my hand and here, but most of it, as you guys can see, it was purple around my nose, my chin, and the sides of my mouth, because again, I get those smile lines. And I will touch the sides of my face. Like I said, you don't just to touch it, give it a little bit, but that's pretty much where I focus my primer. And I didn't put a lot of primer on. You really don't need to. The other day when I went to 2 holiday parties and I knew my makeup needed to last for a good 10 hours, I did put more. But usually, you know, 2 pumps is good. Tip number 3. You want to set your primer with a powder. Powder is your friend if you got oily skin. Wow, see? That is a rule. That's a rule. Powder is your friend if you got oily skin. Woo! You're going to remember that, ain't you? You always remember it when it got a little ring to it. And since we're talking about powders, you want a good thick powder, but not right now. So I'm going to show you, well, I'm going to tell you guys about a thick powder. But other loose setting powders can be finely milled. For example, Ben Nye is a pretty finely milled setting powder. Laura Mercier is a pretty fine milled setting powder. And what I'm about to use to set my primer is the Dermablend loose setting powder. And this is a very fine milled powder as well. So it's you don't really want a fine mill. Like, it works, don't get me wrong, the Dermablend works, but the heavier your setting powder, the longer the staying power it has. But I am going to use the Dermablend finely milled setting powder to set my primer, because I don't really need a thick powder on and then put on foundation and put on my whole makeup. So the thin loose setting powder is going to be fine just to set my primer. So I take a little puff ball. It's actually a Dermablend little powder puff, and I just go in right where the primer was, and you'll see the powder. So basically it's just going to sit again in my area, my upside down T, pretty much all over my face, because it's not like a precise neat thing, but yeah. So this is what it looks like. Blotches of powder. And then you're going to move on to foundation. So the next tip is for foundation. If you have oily skin, you want a matte foundation. You want an oil-free foundation. Why are you adding oil to your foundation, sis? You got enough oil coming out your damn pores. You don't need no more. So you want an oil-free foundation. You want a matte foundation. My favorite drugstore foundation is the Maybelline Super Stay Foundation. It is 24 hours. I'm looking at the back of it as I'm showing you guys. So it's full coverage. You want a full coverage foundation if you're oily, because the thicker, more coverage, the more coverage you got from that oil seeping through. So full coverage is great. This says seamless matte finish. Matte is what you want. Matte is what you want. So again, the biggest things about your foundation is you want it to be matte, you want it to be oil free, and you want it to be full coverage for the best results with oily skin. I'm going to use a brush to pat my foundation on. Again, the way you put it on is going to be important. So just stay tuned for the next tip. But you can also use a beauty blender. The beauty blender will shear it out a little bit. But if you're following all these tips, baby, you're going to be good. Because sometimes I use my beauty blender and it's not really a big difference. Besides, it just may look more natural. But I mean, the staying power of my makeup, you know, in terms of the oil, is fine. So if y'all follow all of these tips, if you miss 1 or 2, you should be all right. So I'm going to just take my foundation and pump it onto the brush. I did pump it like 1.5 times. And the way that you apply the foundation is also critical when trying to control oil. So what I do is I just dot it where I want it to go. Well, I want it to go everywhere, but I'm going to dot it like to distribute it around my face before I start to actually, you know, press it out. So once I do it like that, then I go back. And you want to beat your face. Yeah, that beat face thing was a real thing, y'all. Like, beat it. Beat it! No, that's Thriller. What's the Beat It Michael Jackson song? What's the tempo for that? Just beat it. Beat it, beat it, beat it. Yeah, okay. But yeah, you want to just press this all into your face. And the reason you want to press it is because you don't want to shear it out. And if you're swiping, that's shearing it out. So now that you have your foundation on, we're going to move on to concealer. So here is my next tip. You guys know how they have like those creamy, thick concealers that's like in a pot? You don't want to do that. And the reason you don't want to do that is because that's a really thick concealer and it's going to crease and it's just a lot. It's oily. I don't even know if those are oil free or not. I don't want to tell you nothing that's not true. I'm just going to say, in my experience, the best concealers for oily skin are the kinds that are kind of liquidy. So like the LA Girl Pro Concealer that comes out in a little squeeze tube, or like a concealer that's in a jar or whatever, and it has like the little applicator that's like a wand and you spread it out. Those are the concealers that tend to do the best, in my opinion and in my experience, with my oily skin. So I'm going to go in with the LA Girl Warm Honey, and I'm just going to put it in the areas that need to be concealed. As you guys can see, I didn't really drag my foundation up too far over my eyes, so that's why it's still a little discoloration and darkness there. But that's only because I go in with my concealer really heavy, so it's just really no need to. It's cool. I mean, you can if you want to put some foundation up there, but I just, you know, put the foundation in the areas that aren't going to get any coverage like with concealer. So you just don't have to, but it's fine if you do. And where I place my concealer has nothing to do with, you know, oily skin or anything. It's just the areas that I like highlighted and concealed. So I like to conceal the darkness under my eye and highlight it, of course. I want my nose, the bridge of my nose, to be highlighted, and I like to highlight my chin just to like elongate my face. It absolutely has nothing to do with oil at all. But I will say, key tip, if I didn't say this already, and I'm sure I did, anytime you put any cream on your face, you want to set it with powder so that it stays. Like, the powder is the glue that keep your shit together. Because without it, you oil it, baby, you finna have a mudslide. All of this liquidy, runny, whatever kind of, if it ain't powder, it's gonna slide off if you don't put the powder to basically like lock it in. So I'm gonna go in with my wet beauty blender, damp, wet. Make sure you don't want to use no dry ass beauty blender. I don't think I need to say that in 2019, but there it is. And I'm going to blend out the concealer, and then of course I'm going to set it. And when I set it, I'm going to tell you guys about why you want a heavy setting powder versus the finely milled that we talked about earlier. Now that my concealer is blended out, I'm going to set it. Now, I use Airspun to set my concealer because that is the only loose setting powder that I have ran across that's thick. It's really, really thick. If you use Airspun, you know it feels like you can feel it on your face. It feels like a blanket on your face. Versus if you use Laura Mercier, Ben Nye, or even the Dermablend loose setting powder, it's very finely milled, and you can't feel it as much as you can feel that Airspun when you place it upon your face. And some people may not like that, and that's cool. I know Airspun also has that grandma smell. I like it though. But I will say that Airspun is thick, and so it's great in like capturing the oil, I guess, or keeping the oil from seeping through because it's so thick. So I take my damp beauty blender that I put on the concealer with, and I just put the Airspun in the areas that I use the concealer. And as you can see, I didn't go back in when I came over here. So if it's under my eye, because it's a large area with the concealer, I do go back in just so it's thick as it is over here. But I don't go back in again, and then I hit the bridge of my nose and also my chin. I also don't bake. I know that baking is supposed to be good for oily skin, but I didn't like it. I always flash back when I would bake. So as soon as I put it on, I just go back into those areas and I press. Honestly, again, I'm not sure if this is true or not, but I think that the pressing of the powder into your skin instead of baking it and wiping it away is also great for oily skin, because you're pushing it in. Like, you're pushing the product in and you're not sweeping it away. Like, why would you sweep it off if you want me to sit there and keep your makeup, and you want me to sit there and keep your makeup on your face, but you pushing me off. You pushing me away. That's like when the dude tell you, oh, I want to be with you, I love you, but he ain't answering your calls and return no texts, like he pushing you away. Make it make sense. You want me here or you don't. That's what the setting powder is asking y'all. Do you want me here to capture your oil, or you don't? Because you over here sweeping me away like you don't want me bothered. What's the story? I hope you guys like that little analogy, because I really put a lot into that for you. You're welcome. After you do that, you set your concealer with your thick setting powder. We're going to set our whole face, because again, I told you, you don't want to put no liquid stuff on your face and then you set it with powder. So because I didn't put Airspun over my entire face, and I don't recommend you do that because it's real bright, you're going to want to go in with a powder to set. And this is where your finely milled setting powder can come into play. So the Dermablend powder that I used earlier to set my primer will be the same Dermablend powder that I'm going to use to set my face. And again, this is so finely milled, you don't feel it. Y'all, I can feel that Airspun though right up under my eyes. Like, it's so thick, but we need it. We need it. You're just going to place this powder everywhere. Everywhere. I would say everywhere that you didn't put the Airspun, but as y'all can see, I I go right over that Airspun too. And it's not because like I feel like the Airspun won't do what it's supposed to do, but I feel like since the Airspun is so bright, it wouldn't hurt to like just get a little bit of that brown powder residue, because my Dermablend has a brown tint. It wouldn't hurt to just get it all over, because damn, that was some white powder that you put in your face. So the biggest takeaway from here again is everything needs to be set with powder. Girl, you oily. If you could bathe in the powder, you should be bathing in the powder. Powder it down. You need that powder. You need it. You bet. Y'all ain't listening. And so this is pretty much it for your base makeup. There's one more thing that I will disclose with you guys in terms of my top secrets for oily skin, but that's going to be when I'm done with my entire makeup. So I'm going to go ahead, contour, blush, all of that, and then I'm going to come back and give you guys the last top secret tip for keeping that oily skin at bay and keeping that makeup on slay. Okay guys, so I'm completely done with my makeup, and the last tip that I want to share with you guys, top best secrets for oily skin: get you a good set tank spray. Let me show y'all something. Let me just share something with you real quick. The Mario Badescu spray that everybody be talking about, I don't know, it may be kind of old, y'all. I'm a little outdated with stuff. But this Mario Badescu spray that everybody like, the rose water spray, that is a facial spray. It says it on the bottle. It's a facial spray. I use it. I use it before I put on my highlight, because I want my skin to kind of be a little moist, so that when I put my highlight on, it has something to attach to. And I also feel like it makes it a little bit more vibrant. Also, it helps because this damn Airspun is so thick. When I spray on my Mario Badescu, it's just a little hydration to be like, oh, whoo, because we got a lot of powder on. We have a lot of powder on, do we not? I told y'all to double up on the powder. So the setting spray, the facial spray, that's mostly water, just gives you a little alleviation from all that dryness, because it feels real tight and dry. But when I say you need a setting spray, you need a setting spray that's good for oily skin, a mattifying setting spray. What I have at the current moment is the Urban Decay D-Slick. D-Slick. Listen to the word, D-Slick. This don't want you to be slick, because you're supposed to be matte. It even says on the bottle that this is a makeup setting spray, oil control. Y'all, the makeup products be telling y'all what they do. They trying to help y'all. You just got to read. Oil control, up to 16-hour wear, lightweight, blah, blah, blah. The biggest thing is oil control. And this is going to just set the makeup, keep the makeup there. We ain't trying to be oily. This is just like the freaking cherry on top of the damn cake. They got all these layers of icing and powder and whatever else we got on. This the cherry on top. So you want to spray this on your face. Keep it far back. Sometimes it does the little white bubble sprit thing, but you can fix that with a beauty blender if need be. And this is what I meant right here when it leaves those little white spots. Y'all, mostly that's because I need some more and it's just a little bit in there. So if it does that, it's cool. As you can see, even before I got my beauty blender, it kind of dried. But sometimes it just leaves little spots that it was there. So you'll take your beauty blender and just touch wherever you see a spot on your makeup. But that's it. That's it, y'all. Those were the top tips that I have. Best top tips for all the oily girls out there. I feel for you, girl. I know. If you're still here, thank you so much. I hope you have subscribed. I hope I gave you some value with this video. Leave me some rain puddle drops, some water drops, or whatever. That's the oil for your skin. That's what that is. So leave that in the comment box so that I know that you stayed to the end to watch this video. And make sure you check out other videos from me right here, because I think I'm pretty lit. What y'all think? Check out these videos right here, and I'll see you guys in my next one.